Hello everyone, welcome to Court with Krissy. Magistrate Chisolm had some fun ones today. First up, a California transplant learns that a Michigan left does not mean that it's okay to always go on red. Whew. And then we'll have to take the attorney's word for it, but there's a full moon. I hope you like it. Court with Krissy is now in session.
This is 24RO05295. Mr. Krissy, you were ticketed on the first day of July last year at about 3:31 in the morning in the area of Royal Oak near 13 Mile Road in Campbell. And you were cited for disobeying a traffic control device. The options you have this morning are three. You can admit responsibility, you can deny responsibility, or you can admit responsibility with an explanation. How do you wish to proceed?
I would like to admit the responsibility with a 2 minutes explanation, Honor.
Okay, and what is your explanation, please?
First, I want to say that I take full responsibility for the tickets I have received, and I truly regret the mistakes I have made. Since moving to Michigan 2.5 years ago, I have been learning the state's traffic rules through daily driving, Honor. I haven't had the opportunity to sit down and study the traffic rulebook, so I have learned many of the practical applications, like how and when to make a left turn on red by observing other drivers.
You cannot make a left turn on a red unless you're turning onto a one-way street.
Now I know it, Honor. And one specific example is the ticket I received for making a left turn on red on the day of the incident. I stopped at the red light. It was a very late time. Checked that the traffic was clear and made the turn, fully believing it was a legal maneuver. In fact, I was aware that the officer who issued the ticket was nearby, which reassured me at the time that I was not doing anything wrong. I understand this was not the case, and I regret the misunderstanding. My actions were never meant to disregard the law. They stemmed me from a lack of full knowledge rather than willful negligence. And also, I've been going through a period of financial hardship now. Which has required me to drive for ride-sharing services for extended hours. And sometimes I had to work 14, 16 hours a day, to tell you the truth. Driving for such long periods naturally increases the likelihood of making mistakes, especially compared to someone who only drives for 30 minutes to an hour each day. And there have been moments when I have been preoccupied with my personal and financial challenges. And mental distraction has sometimes caused me to react late to traffic signs and signals. So I want to emphasize that this has been a temporary phase. My situation has recently improved, and I have been able to much more focused and alert while driving. I always taking traffic laws seriously, and in 22 years I lived in Irvine, California. I only had 2 speeding tickets and no other violations in 22 years, Honor.
You had a speeding ticket in Michigan 2 years ago.
I know it is a 35 speeding limit.
But you just told me you only had 2 tickets in your life in California.
It is true, sir. I can, if you don't believe it,
No, I'm not disbelieving what you're saying happened in California, but when you spoke to your driving record, you failed to mention the fact that you got a ticket in 2022 in Grosse Pointe.
Yes, it was my first ticket in Michigan, and I don't know if it could be a Michigan thing. As I said, I moved to Michigan.
That was a speeding ticket, sir.
Yes, Honor. I know. I already accepted that. I guess.
Yeah.
So the only reason I'm making this explanation, I'm feeling bad like someone criminal because all this thing is, as I said, I drive almost 14, sometimes 16 hours a day, and all my tickets mostly is in nighttime. And I was distracted with some financial problems when I was, thinking about all those things. The only thing I'm asking kindly, if you could honor, just I don't want to get any more points, honor. Uh, as I said, I'm 55. I guess I am losing some certain skills, but I had to drive almost 10 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours. It depends on the day or on rideshare. I can show you my Uber records. You can see that how many hours I work Uber and Lyft together. So that morning, I even told the officer that seriously, I had no idea I couldn't make a left turn there. And to tell you the truth, I still don't understand how this left turn goes on in Michigan. That's why even if I see that red light there and other drivers making left turns on the red light, I don't do that at all. I just wait for the green light because I really don't understand. And
Well, red means stop.
okay, I'm done
That's
already.
fair enough. And you do not have any obligation to make a right on red. If you're going to make a right turn, you can only make the right turn after stopping if traffic is clear. The left turn requires a driver to drive across traffic to get to the lane and go in the direction that they want. That's the difference between a right and a red. In a right turn, you're not crossing traffic, you're going with it. In a left, you're crossing traffic, then going to the left. So that's the difference. But when you got your license, you had to pass a driving test, at least a paper test.
I didn't get any paper test, honor. I gave them my California driver's license.
Well, even in California, you have to stop at a red light.
I'm talking about the left turn,
Yeah.
honor. And
Are
left
you saying
turn,
that you can make a left turn on a red in California?
no, you can't.
Can't do that
No.
there either.
No, you can't.
Is there anything you want to add to this, Officer Francis?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Krissy, I want to make it clear that civil infractions are not crimes. You're not charged with a crime. You're charged with a civil infraction. Civil infractions have no element of intent to do evil the way a crime does. Civil infractions are mistakes. The average driver, according to research that I have read, commits a civil infraction every 3 blocks. We're all making mistakes. And when you drive 12, 14, 16 hours a day, you're on the road more, so you're more likely to make mistakes. But that doesn't change the fact that if you're in a crash and someone is injured or killed, that might only be a small percentage of your day, but it's 100% of their life. So the driver's responsibility to conform to the statutes is not minimized by driving long periods of time, but it is maximized because they're making a living on the public streets. They're in effect getting an office that's provided by the people. And when they don't conform to the laws, they're misusing that office, that space that's provided by the people upon which or in which they're making a living. You paid the bond in this matter, so the fine and cost is irrelevant because I'm just going to apply the bond. And the points are not issued by the court. The points come from the Secretary of State. The last set of points that you should have got, you took a Secretary of State's driver safety class, and they waived the points, but that's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
I took that class once, actually.
Yes, it's a once in a lifetime that somebody can take the class so as to not receive the points. But this matter is closed. You rightly admitted responsibility, and I'm applying the bond that you paid to the fines and costs. So there's no further cost to you, to the court. Thank you, sir. We're all set.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll see who's I'll close. No, I don't want to close the chat. I got to send it to the main.
I think we're going to have some issues with Mr. Goritz. I did spend some time trying to talk with him. So
Yeah.
he may be riled up again, unfortunately. So I think we're going to try to do him first.
Okay.
Supposed to hold it for 24 hours. I'm supposed to be left free.
Magistrate, this is Mr. Corbett.
Okay. Mr. Gorovich.
You don't know my name. I have 2 birth certificates.
You have 2 birth certificates?
George New Morales, Sinai Hospital, W. Zoc, Daled Bub Daled, Yet Stock, it's pronounced W. Zoc.
Let's get one thing straight here, sir. There's 2 charges, 2 criminal charges have been brought against you.
And
We're
David,
going to make sure that you understand what you've been charged with.
I
And
don't
we're going
know.
to set a bond.
Read my rights. I haven't been fingerprinted
I'm
in
going to,
a mugshot.
it would be better for you if you just listen for a while.
This isn't fair.
Don't make this hard on yourself, sir.
This
The
isn't-
only one that's going to be
this isn't fair.
negatively impacted by disruption is you, not me. This is 25R00234 and 240230. Both of them are people of the city of Royal Oak versus David Justin Gorovitz.
Daled Bub
Good
Daled.
Ms.
afternoon.
Johnson?
Good afternoon. Teresa Johnson on behalf of Mr. Gorich. We are here via Zoom for today's arraignment. I believe there's an arraignment on a bench warrant for the 2024 case and a new arraignment that needs to happen on the 2025 case. I will indicate that I did advise my client about his charges and attempted to discuss with him his rights with regard to the charges. As much as I was able to get through were the nature of the charges and the fact that they were misdemeanors. However,
I need
even-
to go to a hospital.
even in identifying himself, he gave me
I need to go to a
a
hospital.
name that was unintelligible, as well as some numbers identifying himself. And then he also gave me the name that you mentioned and that I identified him as. He said I did not know him. He also said that he did not trust attorneys nor judges, and he would not allow me to speak. I explained to him that this was the first process, that we were going to try to get him into a hospital so that he could, in fact, get some help. And he refused to allow me to continue to talk and advise him. So I'm not quite sure. I think he understands, because he said he doesn't want to be in jail. He did identify being in jail. And he knew that he was in the Royal Oak jail, but that he shouldn't be there. He did not commit any crimes. And he also began to talk about a sealed juvenile record that does not allow him or anybody to have him arrested. I explained to him that he's an adult now, and that if he does something as an adult, that's separate and apart from any juvenile record, and that was sealed, and he became belligerent and combative. So I was not able to fully advise him of his rights.
Okay, well, I misspoke on the caption of one of these, one of these cases, the 2024 case. The plaintiff is the people of the city of Berkeley. Now, I have muted Mr. Gorovitz so that he can listen to us, and I will inform him that it is alleged in file 240230 that on the 26th day of November 2024 at approximately noon, he was in the area of 3155 Coolidge, which is near Beverly Street, and that he is charged with committing the crime of larceny, as well as the crime of malicious destruction of property less than $200. Both of these crimes are punishable by up to 93 days in the Oakland County Jail and/or a fine of $500. In the other file, the more recent file, 25-00234, the people of City of Royal Oak versus David Justin Gorvitz, it is alleged that he committed the crime that he did engage in fighting or in violent, tumultuous, or threatening behavior. This is a misdemeanor for which he could be incarcerated for 90 days and/or fined $500. As to both of these matters, he has the right to a trial. The trial can be before a judge or a jury. If you can't afford your own attorney, Mr. Gorvitz, an attorney will be appointed for you. You would have the right to confront your accusers, cross-examining them under oath. You'd have the right to testify at your trial or not. And if you choose not to testify at your trial, your silence cannot be used against you. You have the right to be presumed innocent until you're proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf in both of these matters. He's not speaking now because I have muted him.
I'm not sure. He just pulled his pants down and moaned at the court. So I don't know if you want to turn the video off as well. I don't think we're recording live or anything, or maybe we are.
Yeah, we are.
We are. Okay. Well, yeah, that may be. I just would ask that the court, thank you for the arraignment and the reading of the information on both matters. I am asking that the court consider an order for competency. It's my understanding that there are no drugs or alcohol that are causing Mr. Gorwitz to behave in the manner that he is right now. And it's my understanding that there may have been some combative behaviors as I'm watching him on the video now with some people at the jail. So I'm just wondering if the court would sign an order to get him evaluated for competency.
We are going to recall the bench warrant. This is typically done at the pretrial.
Yes, but I don't know that we're going to get to a pretrial Magistrate Chisolm if they don't get him some kind of treatment.
I don't think he's smashing his head into the window.
He is not, but it's my understanding. One of your other officers mentioned that he allegedly assaulted some staff over at the jail already. 2 different. So, and thank you for recalling the bench warrant for the 2024 file. I'm just asking for a reasonable bond so that he can get to and from the hospital or transported to and from the forensic center. He is homeless.
It's got an address here in Oak Park on both of these, same apartment number.
Okay.
I'm presuming that he's going to need appointed counsel.
Yes.
Noting that I'm doing that on not because he's asked, but he just needs appointed counsel.
Yes. Based upon his representations that he is homeless.
He's not. This is. Sandy, he's created something of a hazmat situation over there as well.
Mm-hmm.
I would do it.
Would you ask Tammy if I can have a copy of the order that we would send him for a psychological psychiatric evaluation? competency exam, I think would be the more correct way of phrasing it.
I'm sorry, Magistrate?
I was saying that a competency examination would be the more correct way to phrase it than I
Yes.
did for at first.
That's okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
She says she'll be right in, or somebody will be right in.
Okay. I don't see him now.
The court officer moved the video away from his cell.
Was he exposing himself again?
I don't know. It looks like I could see him in the camera, in the background.
Oh, it's Harold. Yeah.
Oh, you're on mute, Harold. Oh, I think Magistrate, you may have to give him permission to come off the mute.
I'll ask him to unmute now.
Okay.
Can you hear me now? I have to put this thing down. I can't hold it indefinitely up on this.
Right.
Lip here.
He is still
And wait,
choosing not to participate, I presume.
yes, sir.
And we're attempting to look or to get a order for a competency exam.
And I'm standing in your end, so anything you do to expedite this thing is, I would much appreciate.
Okay. And we're kind of on hold waiting for the court administrator to bring something down.
It's right down here, and I can hear you. I guess you can hear me.
We can hear you.
What a minute.
You're all
25 file.
so fucking severely. I'm getting out of it. You fucking pig. I'm getting out of it. You're gonna be punished so fucking severely, pig shit. You fucking pig shit. Every pig shit's gonna be so fucking punished. I'm getting out of it. Ask the CIA and FBI, you fucking pork butt, bro.
Do we address bond for the 2025 file?
Well, I haven't set the bond on the 24 file was set by at $10,000. Recalled the bench warrant,
Yes.
set a pretrial.
For the hospital. That's the fucking truth.
We'll have to set a bond in each one of these. And
Yes.
I want to see what the interplay is between the bond and the competency exam.
Faggot. I better not have a bond to pay. I better go to a hospital, faggot.
Is there a form order for a competency exam?
I think you can put it, I think I've seen Judge Meineke do it, he would just endorse it and we would put on, are you setting a bond?
Sure.
I don't bond. I think Judge Meineke done it before, that he would put on a commitment OCJ to have him go and undergo like a forensic evaluation at the OCJ. I can, if you want, I can go upstairs and I can find it. Because we have a very generic like order form. I can get you the generic form.
Is there a bond set with that too? So the bond, we'd set a bond and direct that you have a competency exam.
My wife, yeah.
For jail to do it.
Okay, would you mind getting that?
Not at all. Can I have the file so I can show it to him? Would you be able to?
What
stop
you-
it?
Well, what we're going to do is move on to the next two people.
Okay.
But for now, his conduct in the jail is
Question.
not just questionable.
Okay.
He is ranting, raving.
Okay.
There is excrement.
Okay. I'll charge you.
We're going to move on to one of the other two, and then we'll come back to Mr. Gorbitz.
Thank you.
What is delay? Let's see.
And Magistrate Chisolm, I can waive his presence for the remainder of what we have to do when we circle back for his cases.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ms. Johnson, I'm waiting for.
All right, we all set with yours?
He's still talking.
Yes.
We're
No,
all
we're
set on this
Okay.
person. We're waiting on Mr. Your yes. You don't need to go to his place now. We have to finish it up, but counsel has waived his presence at the balance of the arraignment.
Okay.
Keep you in a more sanitary part of the lockup.
So we've got to go back to him, or we're gonna do it later?
No, I
No,
think
we don't.
we don't need to go back. We do have to deal with his file, but we don't need to put you in proximity, into physical proximity with him.
You're the best. So I can sign off here?
Yes.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Ms. Johnson, apparently there is language that has been used that would provide a bond and then direct the sheriff to handle the examination.
Transport. Okay.
And at this point, I'm waiting on the language that has been suggested in other matters as
Okay.
practical and efficient.
All right. Do I have a couple minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Ms. Johnson, I don't think you have filed a notice of insanity defense.
Say that one more time.
The form that's approved by scale. I'm going to take this off.